Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're cutting right to the chase and building the ultimate blueprint for lower body strength. We're pulling this directly from foundational training principles to give you a clear, super powerful plan.
Okay, let's just dive right in. Our entire focus is building the foundation of strong legs. And to do that, we're targeting the two biggest powerhouses you've got down there, the quads and the glutes. And why those two? Well, because getting them strong isn't just about how they look. It's the absolute key to making almost every athletic move you can think of better. So, where do we start? Our first piece of the blueprint is the one, the only, the undisputed king of all leg exercises, the barbell back squat. There's a really good reason it holds that title, and we're about to break it all down. The game plan here is all about effective simplicity. We're looking at 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps. Now that range is kind of the sweet spot for hypertrophy, which is just a sciencey term for muscle growth. It's heavy enough to really challenge your strength, but it's got enough volume to kickstart a real growth response. Now, let's talk about the 3 absolute non-negotiables for a safe and effective squat. Keeping your chest up is huge. It stops your upper back from rounding, which you absolutely need to protect your spine. A straight neutral back? Not even a question. And then pushing through your heels. That's what makes sure you're firing up that whole posterior chain, your hamstrings and glutes, and not just your quads.
So here's the thing. The reason the squat is called the king is because it's this massive compound movement. It puts your entire system under stress, and that triggers a way bigger hormone response for growth than smaller, dinky isolation exercises ever could. Mastering this one move gives you the most complete foundation for leg development. It really is the cornerstone of our whole blueprint.
Okay, let's move on to the second piece of the puzzle and see how it builds on that foundation. Now we're going to focus on developing some real functional strength and stability with walking lunges. So our target here is 12 steps for each leg, and we're doing that for 3 sets. This is what we call unilateral work. You're focusing on one leg at a time. And you know what's cool about that? It's like a diagnostic tool. It brings to light any strength imbalances you have between your left and right sides, things that a 2-legged exercise like the squat can sometimes hide. The movement itself, it's a simple but crazy effective 2-part motion. You step forward into a nice controlled deep lunge. That's the eccentric or muscle lengthening part. Then you generate a ton of power to push yourself back up to the start. That's the concentric part. It's really like a dance between control and pure explosion. And this is why it matters so much. Unlike the squat, where you're on a stable base, the lunge forces your body to work on its proprioception, which is just a fancy way of saying your body's ability to know where it is in space. This builds your balance, your dynamic power, and your muscular endurance all at the same time. And that translates directly to real-world sports and activities. All right, the third and final building block of our blueprint is a total powerhouse when it comes to isolation. I'm talking about the hip thrust. This movement is designed for one thing, and honestly, it does it better than almost any other exercise out there: maximum glute activation. You'll probably notice the rep range here is a bit higher. We're aiming for 12 to 15 reps over 3 sets, and that's totally on purpose. See, with a targeted move like this, the goal is to create metabolic stress and just pump as much blood as possible into the muscle. That higher volume is a huge driver for growth in your glutes. You want to know the secret to a perfect hip thrust? It's all in how you do it. Yeah, you drive your hips up with force, but the real magic, the part that counts, is in step 2, a powerful, intentional squeeze of the glutes at the very top of the movement. That peak contraction is everything. It makes sure you're getting every last muscle fiber to fire right at that point of greatest tension. So the big takeaway for this exercise is its laser-focused purpose. I mean, think about it. A lot of us live sedentary lives, which can lead to something called gluteal amnesia. This movement specifically wakes up and strengthens the biggest muscle in your body. It fills a huge gap that even squats and lunges can't always cover. Okay, so we've laid down the 3 core components. Now, let's put it all together and show you what your complete no-nonsense lower body blueprint actually looks like. And there it is, your foundational plan. Just 3 powerful, proven movements, all working together. You've got barbell back squats for overall mass and strength, walking lunges for functional power and balance, and hip thrusts for hitting those glutes hard and building peak power. And what's the payoff for sticking to this blueprint? It's not complicated at all. It's a direct route to building both real, functional strength and visible muscle mass. You're building a powerful engine that doesn't just look good, but performs even better in absolutely everything you do. So we've given you the blueprint, the exercises, the science behind them, and the form. We've laid out the how and the why, which really just leaves one final question. What are you going to build with your new foundation?
All right, let's talk leg day. What if I told you that you could get a complete, killer lower body workout done in just 15 minutes? Seriously, today we're breaking down the exact blueprint to make that happen. And look, when we say efficient, we really mean it. This isn't about wasting an hour at the gym. This routine is laser-focused. It's designed to hit those key posterior muscles and then cap it all off with a powerful, explosive move. We're talking maximum impact in minimum time.
So the big question is, how on earth do we pack all of that into just 15 minutes? Well, it's not magic. It all comes down to a really smart, targeted structure that helps you work smarter, not just harder. Let's dive into the plan.
Okay, first things first, we've got to build a solid foundation. This first phase is all about the posterior chain. You know, your hamstrings and calves. These are the powerhouse muscles that so many people skip, but they're absolutely critical for your overall strength.
Here's our first block of exercises. We're kicking it off with Romanian deadlifts for 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps. Really focus on that deep stretch in the hamstrings. Next, we're going to isolate those muscles with hamstring curls, doing 3 sets of 12 to 15 reps. Then we finish this section by blasting the calves with 4 sets of 15 to 20 standing calf raises. Quick tip, make sure you get a full, hard squeeze at the top of every single rep.
And this is so important, you guys. This isn't just about building muscle for show. Like the source material points out, having strong hammies and calves is a total game changer. It gives you stability in your joints, creates that balanced, symmetrical look, and, maybe most importantly, it helps keep you from getting injured. That's real, functional strength.
All right, our foundation is set, the posterior chain is all fired up, now it's time to crank up the intensity. We're moving right into our second and final phase, the explosive finisher. This is where we burn out whatever's left in the tank and build some serious power.
Yeah, this is the final push. It's designed to be tough for sure, but that's where the real results come from. So, you ready to finish this thing strong? Let's get to it.
Our finisher is jump squats. This single move is an absolute beast for burning out your quads, glutes, and calves. We're doing 3 sets here, aiming for 12 to 15 reps. The goal isn't just to jump, it's to explode upward with everything you've got on every single rep.
Now here's the key that makes this a true finisher. Look at that number, 30. That's how many seconds of rest you get between sets. And that's it. That short rest period is what sends the intensity through the roof, pushing your muscles to their limit and really driving that growth.
And just like that, the workout's done. But you know, doing the work is only half the battle. Now, let's talk about turning this 15-minute routine into real, long-term progress. These are the key principles for success.
But first, seriously, give yourself a pat on the back. You just learned the blueprint for a complete lower body workout. It just goes to show you don't need to spend hours in the gym to make things happen. So, great work.
So what's the secret to making this work for you? It really boils down to 3 simple but non-negotiable ideas. First, stay consistent. You have to show up. Second, focus on form. Every single rep counts, so make it a good one. You do those 2 things and you are absolutely set for the third one. You will see amazing progress. And I love this final thought from the source material. Fitness is a journey, right? And it's always better when you feel like you're part of a community with a shared goal. So let's keep that momentum going.
So that brings us to the end. You have the workout, you have the principles for success. The only thing left to ask is that question right there on the screen. How will you grow stronger? Think about it. We'll see you in the next one.
All right, let's talk about something we all want. Maximum results in minimum time. Today we're diving into a super powerful, super efficient 15-minute leg workout. But here's the secret, the real game changer. It isn't about the heavy lifting itself. Nope. It's all about what happens in the 2 minutes before you even touch a weight. So we're going to break down the most crucial, and honestly, the most overlooked part of this whole thing, the science of getting ready.
So this workout comes with a pretty big promise. We're not just talking about getting a quick pump and calling it a day. The whole point here is to deliver real, measurable gains in 3 key areas, and to do it so fast you can squeeze it into the craziest of schedules.
And this is the magic number, right? 15, just 15 minutes.
It's such a small amount of time that it basically blows every excuse right out the window. The entire workout is designed to make this one number as incredibly effective as it can possibly be.
But what do you actually get for those 15 minutes? Well, it's a triple threat. You're building raw strength for lifting heavier, you're building size, for that muscle growth, and you're building endurance so you can go harder for longer. It's really the complete package. Okay, so that's the goal. But where do you even begin? With only 15 minutes, you'd think the obvious answer is to jump straight into the toughest exercises, right? But what we're looking at today points us in a totally different and way more important direction. Turns out the foundation for all your results is built before you even think about picking up a weight.
And this is where we get into the actual science of preparation. It turns out the single most important part of this entire 15-minute workout happens in the first 2 minutes. Seriously. Those 2 minutes aren't just a warm-up. They're the strategic launch sequence for everything else you're about to do.
The key idea we're talking about here is muscle activation. Think of it this way. You wouldn't just shake someone awake and expect them to sprint 100 meters, right? Of course not. You'd wake them up first. That's exactly what activation is. It's the process of waking up your muscles, telling them, hey, get ready, we're about to put in some serious work, and making sure they're ready to fire on all cylinders.
And the benefits? Oh, they are immediate, and they are absolutely critical. First, you're increasing blood flow, which is literally pumping fuel and oxygen to your muscles. Second, you're loosening up your joints, which helps your range of motion and, helps keep you from getting injured. And just as important, you're mentally getting that mind-muscle connection firing, prepping your body for the heavy lifting to come.
Okay, so we know why activation is a must-do. But what does it actually look like in practice? The great news is it's not some long, complicated thing. The source material gives us a dead simple, repeatable formula to nail it every single time.
And here it is, in all its beautiful simplicity. Just 4 moves, you do each one for 30 seconds. That's it. 2 minutes total. It is a tiny, tiny investment of your time that pays off big time in the other 13 minutes of your workout.
So what are the moves? First up, bodyweight squats to get the quads and glutes firing. From there, you go into lunges, which are great for engaging your stabilizer muscles and working each leg on its own. After that, it's high knees to start getting that heart rate up. And you finish it all off with glute bridges to really specifically light up the biggest muscles in your lower body.
So when you put this all together, it really forces you to rethink what a warm-up is. This is not just about getting warm. In a workout this intense and this short, this 2-minute activation routine becomes your most powerful weapon. It's what makes sure every single second that follows is as effective as it can be.
And that quote right there, that's the whole philosophy. The promise of maximum results isn't just about going harder. It's about going smarter. And your performance is only as good as your preparation. It's that simple.
And that leaves us with one last question to chew on. We've just seen how 2 simple minutes of foundational work can completely unlock the potential of a workout. So it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other small fundamental things, in fitness or heck in life, are we skipping over that might be the key to unlocking our own maximum results?